Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Bad Bunny being named the main performer for Super Bowl 2026. Now, I want to give my opinion on this because I think it was just a matter of time when he was going to be named the main event of a Super Bowl. Now, obviously, he's already passed his peak. His peak, I believe, was maybe like, what was it, 2021 to 2024, which was a pretty long, like for a very, very long time. You can argue when his peak was, but I don't know. It's not really shocking. People were suggesting that maybe Taylor Swift was going to be the main event. That was a couple of weeks ago, because she's recently got married to one of the football players. I don't remember his name. I actually don't really care about football or Taylor Swift. But anyways, the same thing can be said with her, just being like a matter of time when she's going to be either the main performer or an invitee. Now with Bad Bunny, people were speculating like, is he going to make this political? Who is he going to invite? What type of songs he's going to perform? There's many questions that still haven't been answered, and it's not going to be answered until we find out when the performance happens. Now, I personally, at the moment, don't like watching a halftime show because it's just like, I guess people tend to overhype it more than it actually is. I can't really remember a good Super Bowl that has been for a while now. The one that I actually ended up enjoying a lot during and after was Kendrick Lamar's 2025 halftime show, because there was a lot of hidden messages. I actually like politics a lot. So I have a love-hate relationship with politics, but he actually had like a lot of hidden messages there. So there was meaning behind it. He had like this, what you could say like 15% dissing Drake, which was like one of the biggest disses of, like, I guess the last 10 years, you could say. I'm not really sure. But it was, it was art. It was political. It was drama. There was a lot of stuff involved. And I actually like some of his music, Now, like I said, I don't really listen to lyrics that much. I just like the rhythm of music. There are some lyrics that I like now and then, but I'm not really like the type of person that remembers the lyrics to every single song, or any song actually. So yeah. With Bad Bunny, he's the same thing with me. You can't really understand half the stuff he's saying. So yeah. I'm not really sure. One thing I don't like about the halftime shows is that the performer is the one that has to pay for the expenses of the show itself. So like 2020, I believe it was the Weeknd's halftime show. People were saying that it was the best top 5 halftime shows of all time, and he actually put out of his money into that performance. But I just think people were overhyping it at the moment. I think people forgot about that halftime show. It was a pretty forgettable halftime show. I guess because we were like in a pandemic and it was just like mostly like cinematic. But being there, watching the show, if you were able to, you could. I think there was I think there wasn't anyone in the stands, or if there weren't that many. But it was pretty boring, I think the majority of the halftime shows are boring in person. I can't say because I've never been to a Super Bowl halftime show, but I feel like the majority of them are meant to be enjoyed on TV. So yeah, the main reason why many performers tend to pay for the halftime show is mostly because you're getting free advertisement, in some ways. You're not getting paid to perform. You're the one paying to perform, basically, to make all the budget and stuff like that, to make the performance as memorable as you can. But the thing is, like, I feel like the majority of the performers that are performing don't need that type of free publicity. Bad Bunny was already one of the biggest performers of all time. So I don't really see why. Maybe he still wants to like stay relevant. I think, who was it? It was Kendrick Lamar last year, and the year before that it was Usher. Usher was pretty forgettable. But then it's the same thing. People always say, the thing that stresses me out the most is a lot of people tend to say like, oh, this was the best halftime show of my lifetime. Top five halftime shows, top 10 halftime shows of all time, which it isn't true. It could be subjective. But the thing is, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. There are some categories that you have to know. It's like people are saying like, oh, I like Star Wars 7, 8, 9. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know the history. You can have an opinion, but you can't say like, oh, I like this because of this. The majority of the time, if you don't study like why something is good, you're just gonna be wrong. Like you can't be like, for example, you like me and I performed the halftime show. just because you like me and I performed the halftime show doesn't mean it's gonna be good. There's not gonna be top Tony. Maybe I didn't put any effort into it. You need to know like how long it took for them to work, how long it like maybe the songs have some sort of meaning. Kendrick Lamar had political messages, a lot of political messages in it, and he had a lot of deep messages in it. Many people didn't like it, but the thing is like that's really up to you. Who you can like or dislike or whatever. But the thing is like he put a lot of work and effort into it. It was actually good, from my opinion. The same thing, I do enjoy some of his music. I don't really follow him. He's not one of my favorite performers. I don't really listen to music that much. I like Bruno Mars. I could tell you that right now. I like Bruno Mars. That's the same thing. I'm not much of a follower, but I do like him. So yeah. Anyways, I don't know what else to say. I'm kind of scared because this is not the first time I actually recorded this video. Last recording, it went wrong because it only recorded like a minute of this. So I'm just making this quick because I don't really have much time. I do have to make another recording for another YouTube channel. So yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it. If you have any suggestions, okay, first of all, let me tell you this. If you wanted to see somebody else perform in this year's Super Bowl, please make sure to comment down below who you would have liked to see. If you want to see anyone in the future, make sure to please make sure to comment who you want to see in the future. Bad Bunny, if you like Bad Bunny, who do you want him to invite? I did see that he invited some guy from Puerto Rico. He's like a very Mark Anthony. There you go, Mark Anthony. He invited Mark Anthony to one of his performances like 2 weeks ago or something like that, and many people went crazy. So do you want him to invite him? Do you want him to invite somebody else? Please make sure to comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, see ya.